Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our Small Business Showcase here at Wayward Social with Aaron Buzbee, and really excited. I think this is the coolest place in Marshalltown, so excited to be here and be with Aaron. Aaron, appreciate you joining me today.
Of course, happy to be here.
One thing we talked about before here was that we both kind of bounced around the Midwest a little bit and both settled on Marshalltown as really where we want to be long term. Talk to me about why you made that decision, that this is really where you wanted to be for the long haul.
Yeah, sure. My wife and I were in Des Moines for about 10 years, and we really liked Des Moines. But as kind of things settled down in life, we kept finding ourselves in. We lived in Beaverdale, which is kind of like a small town within a bigger city, and we just found ourselves kind of within that close circle of never really leaving Beaverdale for entertainment options. We kind of just stuck close to home, and one night we had the idea of, well, if we're already kind of living in a small town, why don't we explore what it might be like to live in a small town again. So I was born and raised here. My wife is actually from Chicago, so it's kind of a leap for her. But we saw the opportunity. We knew we wanted to be entrepreneurs. We've been in the hospitality industry at that time about 11 or 12 years. So we saw the opportunity to come here and kind of put our own stamp on things that we maybe couldn't necessarily get in Des Moines.
So speaking of opportunity, as I led with, I think this is the coolest place in Marshalltown, and I feel like a lot of rural communities don't always embrace the opportunity to do something as cool and unique as Wayward. Talk to me, if you would, about how this came about and really from beginning to end, how it came from an idea to where we're at today.
I'm going to try and give you the Cliff Notes versions because we only have a few minutes here. But we started here. Our first venture was our first startup was Fiddle and Whistle Irish Pub, which is like a craft cocktail place on Main Street. And a few years later, we acquired Zeno's, that was our dream when we came back. We've always wanted to own a pizzeria. And we had the opportunity to not only acquire a pizzeria, but acquire what we think is the best pizza in the state, and one with rich history and really Marshalltown owns. It's a Marshalltown institution, so we were blessed to be able to fill that role. We were doing that for a few years. We had Fiddle and Zeno's, and we had heard that the bowling alley, which then was called Totem Bowl, was going to be no more. It was going to be demolished, and we stewed on it for several months about what exactly could we do something, because a town the size of Marshalltown, it's a big barrier to entry. It's a big cost to build a bowling alley or an entertainment center from the ground up when we already had existing infrastructure here. So we thought, could we save it in some way? And we weren't really all that interested in it because we weren't bowlers. And as we started doing our research and going around the country or going around the Midwest and scouring the internet about what other places were doing, around the country and around the world, we were kind of just piecemealing what our vision could be, and kind of haphazardly came up with one little vision and thought, well, I think we could do this. And so as months went on, we go, well, we're not really going to do this, but let's think about it. And then as the months went on, we go, well, I think we'd be disappointed if we didn't do it at this point. So because now we've created something that we thought was a cool vision and a cool model. So we did that in most of 2016. We kind of thought about it, and then by the end of 2016, we purchased it and worked with some great teams to help us brand the place and help us design the place and formulate the menu and all that stuff. And it all came together and to what Wayward Social is today.
Awesome. And one question I always love to ask is so let's say someone's never been here, and maybe they're a bowler, maybe they're not a bowler, but what would you say to that person? And then I'm a big eater, so what do they need to try on the menu if they're the first time stopping in for the first time?
I'd say that, Wayward Social is the reason we landed on that name was a lot of times when you think about bowling alleys, you think of maybe the old model of bowling alleys, and whereas here there's a whole new resurgence in the industry that is akin to this model that we have. So we kind of we wanted to go with a name that, one, we're social. This is a social gathering place. It's a communal space that you create, memories here and societal bonds that are really important in a town. And that's what we have here, is a lot of these avenues and a lot of venues to create memories and friendships and relationships and all that. But so we have the social aspect of it. And then maybe the more simple version of Wayward is just deviant from the norm. That's kind of the definition of it. So we knew that when people walked in here, we wanted them to have this reaction of, wow, this isn't what I was expecting. And that's what we love, is that reaction. Now for the food, like I said, we're pizza people. So I got to say the pizza. So our Zeno's pizza has been the same recipe that it has been for decades and decades. Whereas here, this was a recipe that I had been kind of crafting for the last 15 years. And finally, after all this time, I got to unveil my own pizza dough recipe. And so that's the pizza we serve here at Wayward Social.
Well, appreciate the time and spending it with me today. And as we talk about, we're going to sponsor Wayward Social this month here at the M-Town Proud Agency. So swing by, stop by for a quote or a review, and we have a $10 gift card waiting for you, and you can check it out. So Aaron, appreciate you joining me, and I look forward to supporting you.
Thank you so much.
I was born in a small town, 40 miles north of Des Moines. Yeah, you wouldn't likely notice it. Well, you're still being ignored. Well, I've been around this world, boy, and I've been all types of places, and I met all types of faces. Still find my way back home. Oh, the last was in Missouri. Oh, I left here in a hurry. It ain't nothing against you, boy. Still find my way back home. Lead on me, Buzz. Like that cool day in July, or it can take a lifetime. We're just a long man's ride. Oh, the last I was in Nebraska, oh, didn't leave there too soon. It ain't nothing against you, boy. Still find my way back home. Just one more thing. We really used to be something, but now it's falling on hard times. Just like the train that brought us here, we'll keep on down that line. Oh, the last I was in Minnesota. Oh, I wish I didn't know ya.